Earlier this week, Silver Dollar Games released a demo of their upcoming One Finger Death Punch 2, a sequel to the best quasi-rhythm stickman brawler of all time. I had a chance to finish the demo, and, as expected, it is a fantastic follow-up to one of my favorite games. Everything that made the first one memorable is expanded upon, and the entire experience has been given a visual overhaul that dials up the spectacle while simultaneously improving the user experience. But I'm not here to gush about the game itself. Instead, I want to talk about how great these games are, specifically with the Steam controller. One Finger Death Punch only has 2 buttons. Well, technically the sequel added a co-op exclusive button, but the core gameplay only uses 2 actions: attack left and attack right. On PC, you can put this on the 2 mouse buttons or a keyboard button under a left and right finger. Traditional controllers have this defaulted to X and B, but I'm sure it would work just as well on the triggers or bumpers. But I found that this game stands out when played with touchpads. I mentioned it back in the second episode of Steam Input Essentials that the single button input style was amazing in 2-button games, and I specifically mentioned One Finger Death Punch. Set both pads to the single button input style and set the touch binding to attack left for the left pad and attack right for the right pad. There is something about using very large buttons that don't require any pressure to activate that feels extremely good in a reflex-driven game like this. I also bring this up because I don't feel like the pads have a great reputation when used as buttons. Right pad camera control is mostly agreed upon as something good within the Steam controller community, and left pad movement in 3D games is slowly gaining traction. Finally. But pretty much any other circumstance, and most users would prefer a physical D-pad and face buttons. Using the pads like this is a great introduction to interacting with the pads as buttons. Now, I don't believe that people will walk away from this ready to use the button pad input style on the right pad for DMC5, but I am hoping that this improves the touchpad's image just a bit. For those wanting to give this a shot, a link to my config is in the description and the demo is available on the game store page. Go in with an open mind and let me know what you think of playing it like this.